Hello, my name is Dr. Kevin, and I'm here to talk to you about Dr. Kevin's Spiritual Mentorship Program. I'm going to go through this in the oldest fashioned way ever. I'm going to do it who, what, where, when, and why. So, who is this class for? Well, this class is for somebody who is a spiritual seeker and student who thinks at some point, or maybe already, wants to move into a more professional relationship with their spiritual abilities, wants to go out into the world and be seen as the spiritual being that they are, but maybe need a few extra tools, skill sets, things to help them to be able to really get a practice started or to feel more comfortable in their own spiritual place. The other who is it's for the people who are looking for the self-mastery aspect of the spiritual mentorship program. Maybe you don't ever want to put out a shingle, but you really want to feel like you are in the path of self-mastery and that you are mastering your life and your spiritual journey. The last who in the who, what, where, when, and why of spiritual mentorship program is who am I? Well, I first started taking metaphysical classes and courses back in 1976. At the same time, became a professional psychic around that time. And since 1990, I've had my own full-time spiritual business as a spiritual teacher, healer. So over the last 30 years, not only have I written several books and have many DVDs out, but I've developed over 100 different classes and courses and have used a combination of what's out there along with my own channeled and trans-channeled information to bring new perspective, oftentimes on old subjects, or take them into a new or deeper way than you're going to find out there on the internet. So those are the who's of the who, what, where, when, and why of the Spiritual Mentorship Program. If this has caught your interest, then you may want to stay tuned and hear more about the what. So, what exactly is the Spiritual Mentorship Program? The Spiritual Mentorship Program is tailored for each group that chooses to sign on to it. Again, the group is no more than 4 people. I use this as a group dynamic that mastery oftentimes is best served with mirrors and support systems instead of just a one-on-one pathway. By doing it this way, we can not only cover a number of different subjects that's of interest to the group, but we can also apply it so that the information is being applied in a way where it's helping you achieve your level of self-mastery. So as we go through these different segments, there are both just segments that we want to use a college term, more as an elective. I'd like to have more knowledge, both for myself and people that I may choose to serve in the future. And then we have certificate segments where by the time we finish, you have a professional psychic certificate, a professional tarot reader certificate, a Wei Chi healer certificate. There's several different certificate programs that are inherently built in this. Now, one of the things that happens is when you're working with the same 4 people on a regular basis and you decide to do a new segment, there will be things that I don't have to start over with because you've got some of the information from a previous segment. So things build on each other and they expand out. And the longer that group chooses to stay together and move through the spiritual mentorship program, then the less time it takes for the kind of startup period that we all hate at the beginning of classes when we go, oh, we've heard this 1,000 times. And the teacher doesn't know you've heard it 1,000 times. So as we build on it, I understand, and the rest of the class understands exactly where you are. And as we apply it into your life, the class helps you achieve your own level of mastery as well as I do. So that's kind of what is the Spiritual Mentorship Program. And it may go for 2 or 3 segments, or it may go for 2, 3, 4 years. Again, it depends on the individual group. So let's talk about the where now. Well, where is kind of easy. Where is in Nashua, New Hampshire. We do all of the things out of my home location. And we work around other people's schedules and things. I have been open if there is actually a diversity of geography that would make more sense to do it somewhere else. If all my 4 students are in a location that they're all close and only I would have to travel, I could be convinced to do that. There's a flexibility in this program that allows to serve everybody that's involved with the program. So now let's talk about when. I developed these classes so that it's for very small groups, a max of 4 people, that are going to be able to take advantage of the group dynamics in their path of mastery, no matter which of the segments of the mentorship program that they choose. And we'll talk more about the segments later. But the group will get together and decide the when. The only requirement is that whatever we are choosing to study at any given time, that there'll be so many segments that the students will commit to that they are interested in that particular segment of learning. So if you were to choose the Wei Qi chakra healing, which is very different than what we have out there as chakras and chakra healing, then it would be so many segments. A segment is 1 9-hour day. And I look to do these once a month, more or less, 3 to 6 weeks, and apart, where we as a group get together and decide when. So we have a whole day. Maybe it will be a Saturday or Sunday, or maybe the particular group will say, hey, we can do a Wednesday. It kind of depends on the group and the group dynamics. So this is tailored to you. So why a spiritual mentorship program with DrKevin? The why is all about, why do you want to be a master of your own life? Why do you want to make your spiritual path the path that is guiding who you are, understanding that it's going to help you discover who you came here to be? The why is joy. The joy of doing something that you came here to do, and maybe even ended up making a living out of doing it. I've been making a living out of being a spiritual coach, counselor, catalyst for 30 years now. I get up every morning and I don't go to work. I just be me. I get paid to be me every day. And if this is appealing to you, if you know that you're drawn to want to step out and be a spiritual person in the world, a spiritual person who gets recognized, valued, and even compensated for being a spiritual person, then you want a cohesive program. And you want it from somebody who's actually successfully done it, who's out there making a good living as a spiritual teacher and healer and coach and counselor and all the different things that when you hear about it, you go, boy, would I like to do that instead of 9 to 5, instead of working for the man, for whatever you say in your head. And why not just take a bunch of different stuff from a bunch of different teachers? Well, they both have their advantages and their disadvantages. And if you're watching this video, you've probably already experienced a number of different teachers on some level or not. But when you connect with a teacher that can truly see who you are, both your gifts, talents, and where your strengths are, and where you need the most help, where are your weaknesses, and where are the places that you're most out of touch with what you're out of touch with. You don't know what you don't know. But when you work with an ongoing teacher, your teacher helps you discover that, because your teacher ends up knowing sometimes before you do. So those are some of the whys. You probably have your own why. And feel free to leave a comment on what your why is that you would want to join DrKevin's spiritual mentorship program. So when was the last time that you laid something out perfectly and you said to Spirit, this is what I'm going to do? And then you had to wait for Spirit to stop laughing, maybe help Spirit up off the floor, because suddenly you realized that what you thought you were going to do wasn't exactly what you ended up doing, or exactly how you thought it was going to. How? Who, what, where, when, why, and how. And here is the how of the DrKevin Spiritual Mentorship Program. The how is by using your life as the teaching tool. How do I teach you these things? Yes, I give you the intellectual part of it. I help you to strengthen and grow your intuitive part of it. But we use this small group and the people's lives within that group as part of how we teach. Because when I can get you to see how this can help you in your life, or how this applies to you, when I can help you understand the concept because you live it, you will then be able to better embody it, be it, use it, and if you choose at some point, teach it. So, how? Through kinesthetic learning, through using your life as the canvas, and I give you a whole new set of paints with which to create your new next life. Namaste.